Functioning, Senator. Here we go.
Good morning, Todd. We good to go?
We're good to go. I needed
right.
to catch every comment here on the recording. So.
Okay.
Hey, I want to ask you to take off your senator hat today and put on your Red Dragon hat for just a moment.
Yes.
It's a big weekend for Purchase Line, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah. Yeah. I tell you, it's funny you say that because I was just at Penn's Manor today, this morning, before we came here to talk to their students about safe driving. And when they introduced me, they gave me applause. And when I walked up, I said, I probably should have told you beforehand, I'm a Red Dragon. I'm not so sure you'd have given me such a warm welcome. And they kind of booed and hissed a little bit.
Well, you just played Purchase Line last week. So.
Right. So,
yeah.
But I tell you, I'm very proud of the Purchase Line School District. I'm very proud of where I've grown up and where I've come from. And, rural communities, in my opinion, make the world go round. Yeah. And they're just great communities. They're great towns, and I'm glad to see them doing well.
The Red Dragon Foundation event is this weekend. And, there are all kinds of big things planned, and they do such good work.
They do, and I'm on the board. I've been a board member of that foundation for probably a good 15 years. In fact, I was on the school board when that foundation was created back in 1997, and they provide a lot of scholarships to kids. What I like about it is the variety of scholarships that are available are pretty wide ranging, and gives kids a lot of opportunities, and it also raises money for state of the art technology and equipment. We've done 3D cutters, 3D.
Yeah. I've seen the work of that thing.
Yeah, I'm losing the right terminology for it, but some pretty impressive state of the art technology that's really applicable to the real world workforce. Yeah. So Mr. Clapp, Jim Clapp, has put a lot of work as the president of the foundation board into this weekend and the events surrounding family night. So.
All right. So take off your Red Dragon hat, put your senator hat back
on.
Right. And maybe you're not breathing fire as a Red Dragon, but last week there were a lot of people breathing fire over the governor and the carbon proposal that he made, joining the coalition and doing so by executive order, which bypasses you folks in the legislature altogether. Yeah,
this does have me breathing fire. I'm pretty upset about this, not just because of him circumventing the legislature, but the direct impact it has on our economy here in Armstrong and Indiana County. There's 4 coal-fired power plants left in our state, or will be left after the announced shutdowns. We have 3 of them here in Indiana and Armstrong County, and we also have the Seward Coal Refuse Plant. Those are 800 direct, blue-collar, family-sustaining union jobs. And those men and women get up every day, and they literally keep the lights on for us. The baseload power that they provide is indispensable. And when you look at this carbon tax, basically he wants to tax them for emitting carbon. And it will make them uncompetitive. This regional greenhouse gas initiative that other states have entered into, if you look at the electric rates and the electric prices in those states, they've gone through the roof. They've shut down their baseload power, and it's pushed through the rest of what's called the PJM market. The power continues to be produced in states that aren't in RGGI. So this is just a huge gift to Ohio and West Virginia, and it's a real detriment to what I consider one of the key pedestals of our economy around here. And I talk about 800 direct jobs. That doesn't include the coal mining jobs, the service jobs, the truck driving jobs. I just yesterday met with a constituent in Kittanning 2 days ago. He's a farmer in Butler County, and he has grain trucks, and he harvests grain. But whenever he's not harvesting grain, he's hauling limestone from Butler County to the Homer City Power Plant. And that keeps his business going. And that's just the type of example, and there's many more other examples of how dependent we are on this source of energy and this production.
So after the announcement last week, you and Representative Struzzi both talked about legislation and trying to countermand the order. What can be done, and what has been the reception?
The reception has been very good. And I'll tell you where we have common interests are within the trade unions, the boilermakers, the pipe fitters, the carpenters, and of course the electrical workers, the United Mine Workers. I mean, they're all deeply concerned about this because these plants, they burn 8 million tons of coal a year. Mm-hmm. There's men and women underground bringing that coal out of the ground and getting it here to make this electricity. And so they have a real common interest in this. They have a real concern. They're deeply offended by what the governor has done. And we're taking this personally because, as I said, we're the only area with the coal plants left. And market shifts happen. And right now, natural gas is eating everybody's lunch in the electricity market. I mean, that's why 3 Mile Island shut down. Mm-hmm. There's a nuclear plant. And so these plants may not be here forever. I'm not naive enough to think they will. But my goodness, I don't want to be part of putting them out of business because of some tax, because the governor wants more money.
Yeah.
So we're going to fight with legislation to at least give us a say in the process.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so other topics today. The Wall That Heals is at Mack Park right now. I know it's close to your heart, as it is to everybody and should be to everybody around our area and in the United States.
I drove in from Katanning on Tuesday, and as I was coming into town, I was coming in right around 4 o'clock, and I come past the Air and Intermediate Unit building, and right across the street, there was this elderly couple sitting there on chairs with American flags surrounding them. And it hit me what they were there for. And as I was driving into town and I saw more people lining up and then the crowd at the courthouse, and I pulled in front of my office, I was able to take a video of the wall coming through and the procession. It really resonates. I'm not a veteran. I never served. But I know there are 41 souls from Indiana County on that wall. Mm-hmm. And the families that they've left behind and the impact that that's had. I think it's pretty special that the community is able to have it here as a reminder of the sacrifices that so many have made. I know our kids, our boys anyway, they've been asking about it and trying to just get them to understand, what Vietnam was, what happened there. And I hope to be able to take them over to take a look at the wall and understand the solemnness of it. But I hope the community embraces it and uses it as a good memory of what so many have sacrificed.
Welcoming ceremony tonight at 6 p.m. I want to hit on 2 other topics with you in our remaining time. Number 1, Brian Swat. IUP announcing a memorial service for him that will be held on October the 24th.
October the 24th, 3 p.m.
I know how much he meant to you as a friend, as an employee, as someone who worked on your campaign. And it's a really nice thing they're doing.
It is. It was not how I ever anticipated beginning my time in office. Brian was a good young man. He worked hard. In fact, just this morning, I was, as I said, out at Penn's Manor, and I ran into an individual there who remembered him during his time as a waiter at Tom's Pizza. Brian knew what hard work meant. He had a tremendous love for IUP. He had a tremendous love for the state system, and I'm very happy to see IUP recognizing him. I'm glad to see the scholarship fund was set up in his memory. I know his parents are coming in for the ceremony. They've asked me to make a few comments, and it's been hard. I've lived a very good life, and I've lost loved ones over time, but I've never had somebody pull away from me like that in an instant in an unexpected way. And so, it's been difficult. It's been difficult for all of us.
So that is coming up. Something on a happier note for us is the fact that you and Representative Struzzi, Representative Dush getting together for the Senior Expo.
Oh, yes. Yeah, this is a first for me. Senator White had these expos really his entire time in office, and I've always been kind of in the background and poke my head in and see it from time to time. But this will be my first go-around as being a co-host, if you will. And we had one in Armstrong County at the end of August with Representative Oberlander and Powell, which was a good event. It's an important event. You know, in rural communities, it's hard to get the message out to seniors, to let them know what is available to them. And that's why we do this. And so, yes, that's October 24th. It begins at 10 a.m. It's at the S&T Arena. And we'll have plenty of vendors there, plenty of information. And I encourage any senior to take some advantage of it and take some time and see what it's all about.
Yeah. Representative Struzzi was talking about the town hall meetings that he's had and how it is an opportunity, those town hall meetings and events such as this, the Senior Expo, to actually talk to people and find out what's on their minds, because we could get lost in the overall general, here are the big issues that we're working on. The little issues are just as important, aren't they?
They are. They're very important. And we're not mind readers. I say that time and time again. I've probably said it every time we're on air together. But we need to know what people are thinking. We need to know what the problems are. We can't read people's minds and predict what they are. So these types of events are very important along those lines, just as town meetings are. I had my first town hall meeting in Saxonburg over in Butler County, and I have 2 more scheduled over there before the end of the year. But when we have districts as large as we do, you know, I have 250,000 constituents, 2,400 square miles, parts of 4 counties. It's hard to make sure we communicate and understand what's on people's mind, and that's why we do this.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so he is State Senator Joe Pittman. He's got a lot on his agenda, and I know you're headed back to Harrisburg in, 2 weeks?
2 weeks. 21st, we're back in Harrisburg, but we have plenty to do here back home over the next several days.
Well, thank you for carving a little bit of time out for us this morning.
My pleasure, Todd. You're always the top of the list.
It is. Really? It's the voice of Indiana County, WCCS, AM 1160, 101.1 FM.